Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my current skincare routine. None of this is being sponsored. I did receive a question from one of my previous videos where I shared my current hair care routine to do a current skincare one. And at first I was hesitant to do it just because I constantly try and test out new products since I do a lot of like beauty reviews on my Instagram where I share my empties, and I work with a lot of brands closely to kind of try a lot of the new products and share my thoughts on it. So I did want to preface this video by letting you guys know that this is my current skincare routine. It is not always like this. I usually change it up every few months or so as I'm trying out new products, so please take this with a grain of salt. I'll generally touch on my overall routine and which products are ride or dies for me, which I constantly go back to. And as always, if you want to try any of these products out, they'll be linked below down in the description box so that you can try it out for yourself. But without further ado, let's just chat about my current skincare routine. Right, so I'm going to share both day and night ones with you, and the routines are kind of drastically different, but I do use some different things here and there between day and night. I do preemptively apologize if you hear some weird background noise. Our neighbors upstairs are very, very loud and noisy, and they sound like they're constantly dropping things on the floor right now. I don't know what's going on, and I can't really predict when they will stop or start, so just letting you guys know that there are some noisy neighbors upstairs. Kobe has also joined me, so he will be here for a bit of this video, but let's just jump right into it. So we'll just start off with the daytime routine first. I usually start off always by washing off my face. I've currently been using the NEOSTRATA Enlighten Ultra Brightening Cleanser. The funny thing about this one is that when I first tried it and I was trying to squeeze the product out into my hand, I had a really hard time actually extracting the product from this. And I recently chatted with one of the educators from NEOSTRATA and found out that the bottle design is actually made like that to prevent you from squeezing out too much product. You're supposed to only squeeze it about like a small little pearl shape onto your hand, and that's all you need for your entire face. It also has these pearlescent illuminating particles in it that's supposed to help give your face like a nice little glow. It's not just for daytime. You can definitely use this cleanser for nighttime as well. But just to let you know that there are some illuminating particles within the cleanser, and it's supposed to foam up really well, so you don't need that much. So the product packaging is actually designed to only dispense like a small little pearl. That's what she said, whenever you use it. So if you do run into issues squeezing product out of this, it is not a design flaw. It is actually the way the package is supposed to dispense the product. So this is part of their Enlighten line, and this is actually designed to help you kind of like brighten your skin and to lift dull skin to make it much more, I guess, like bright and illuminating. I actually just really like it because it does a really great job at taking off all of the previous product that I applied to my skin the night before, especially if I have makeup and I first oil cleanse. This is a great second double cleanser. I just really like it. Also, the packaging is humongous, so this is going to last you a really long freaking time. I've only been using this for the past month or so, and so far I've really liked it, and the overall effect it leaves on my skin, it's not stripping or drying. So it's a huge win for me. I'm going to, as always, review this once I'm fully finished with it on my Instagram stories. If you guys want to check out any of my personal product reviews or my thoughts on them, you can always check out my story highlights called Empties. That's where I review everything that I use. You'll probably find this on there in a couple of months. I don't know how long, because this package is huge, so it's going to take me a little while to get through it. But that is the first step in my morning skincare, to cleanse. Once I'm done cleansing, I move next to toner. That I don't really think that this step is 100% necessary for everybody, but I just like it because I think it helps to like reset the pH of my face and to rebalance everything. So I've been recently using the Dermalogica multi-active toner. So this has like a nice little spritz on the top. I'm not the biggest fan of the atomizer up here because it doesn't give you that fine even mist that I would like. It actually creates like these little bubbles that sits on my skin sometimes. So I do have to spritz it from quite far away in order to get like a really nice even distribution. This package holds a lot of product. I've been using this for about 2 months, and I checked inside and I've only gone down by like this much. So it's definitely gonna last me for at least another like 4 to 5 months. It's gonna last you a long time. Dermalogica is not necessarily the cheapest, but the products do work. As you can probably tell once I show you all the products that I use in my skincare routine, I primarily gravitate more towards derm products, which means like scientific-based skincare ones, as opposed to your everyday drugstore ones, just because I have really particular skin, and after spending like decades of trying to treat it, I found that products with active ingredients inside of them actually work best for my skin, and that's just what I gravitate towards. Not to say that I don't use drugstore products either, because I do definitely use quite a few of them, and I do like to test them out to let you know if there are any dupes that are great for anybody out there. But just to let you know, I typically gravitate more towards like derm products. I spritz it on every morning and every night as well, right after I wash my face. Next up, this is completely unnecessary in the world of skincare, I think, but I just really like it because it helps me to kind of like feel refreshed, and that is a facial mist. So as you guys know, the Caudalie Beauty Elixir is one of my favorite ones, but it does have a fragrance and essential oils in it, so it doesn't necessarily always interact the best with everybody's skin. I've been playing around with a couple of different ones. The Garnier, I think it's Garnier or L'Oreal ones that you can get from the drugstore are actually quite great. No, I think it is Garnier. Yeah, the favorite one of mine is the rose scented one. Works wonders. There aren't any crazy properties when it comes to facial mist, so a lot of them are nice. My biggest gripe is usually either the smell, any residue or weird texture, and the atomizer at the top here. It has to have a really nice fine atomizer. If it's just like spewing waters, if someone's like flicking at it with their hands towards me, I'm not the biggest fan. I've recently been using the, I hope I'm saying this right, Jowaé. This is from Paris. It's actually a Korean brand. Parisian Korean brand, I'm not exactly sure. And this one is their hydrating water mist with antioxidant lufenols and sakura blossom water. I love this one. The atomizer is amazing. It's super fine. It feels like a really nice gentle mist. You know when you go to amusement parks and you go to those tents where it sprays like cool water on you in the summer to refresh and calm you? That's what it feels like, but this one has sakura water in it. It's actually really nice. It doesn't make my skin feel oily or like has a weird texture on it. It's like a really, really fine mist. My only gripe with this is that I'm not the biggest fan of the fragrance, and having to use this every day and night, you get a lot of this smell. So I'm not sure if I would necessarily reuse this afterwards just because I just don't resonate well with the scent. But overall, I like this actual facial mist. It disperses it really well, the mechanism at the top here, and there's a lot. This, as you can see, is a compressed can, so it's going to take quite a while for me to go through this. I've been using this for the past 2 months, and now that I'm lifting it up, it doesn't even feel like I've gone through at least a third of this. So I like this packaging. Great for a long extensive use. You don't feel like you need to constantly replenish and get a brand new one whenever you run out of this one. So for daytime, after I apply all of those 2 products, the very first thing I go into my skin with is vitamin C. This is my tried and true. This is the SkinCeuticals Phloretin CF. So SkinCeuticals actually has a variety of vitamin C serums, and I recently learned from them that a lot of vitamin C products that are released on market are actually dead on arrival. And by that, I mean that the products are not actually going to be good for your skin because they do not, because it hasn't been packaged properly or it's not formulated properly. L-ascorbic acid is actually the best form of vitamin C for you to be able to apply to your skin because it's a naturally derived one, so it's really easy for your body to absorb it. And whenever you're looking for a vitamin C serum, you always want to make sure you're finding something between 10 to 20%. Those are the best functional ranges. Anything over 20%, your skin cannot absorb and process, so there's no point in spending your money on that. And then I also found that vitamin C only stabilizes and works on your skin when it's in a liquid formula. When they're like in creams or lotions or gels, that state isn't conducive to keeping the vitamin C, and it ends up just like deteriorating. So like I said, dead on arrival. It's gonna do nothing to your skin. Eventually that product is just gonna sit there. It has, well, it hasn't expired, but the vitamin C in the formula has just broken down and you're not really getting its benefits that you're choosing to get. Now, I know SkinCeuticals is not the cheapest when it comes to vitamin C. They're a little bit pricey, but I swear by this stuff. I've gone through so many vials of the Phloretin CF, and this stuff does wonders for my skin. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm turning 30 this year. I still get a lot of adult acne, and whenever the scars fade, they don't fade as quickly as they used to when I was like 21. Those used to like disappear and look as if I never had anything there within the span of 2 weeks. But now, in 2 weeks, the little mark is still there. 4 weeks, it's half faded, but you can still see it. So with the help of vitamin C, I've actually been able to lighten up a lot of my acne scarring and pigmentation and to just even up my overall skin tone. And because of that, I am totally in debt to vitamin C. If you are looking to help with pigmentation or acne scarring, I definitely recommend looking into it. So like I said, they do have a couple of different formulas. I did try their Ferulic CE. Didn't work out well for my skin. That formula actually has vitamin E in it. A lot of vitamin C formulas typically have vitamin E built into it just to help like nourish and hydrate your skin, because vitamin C can be a little bit aggressive sometimes. But my skin doesn't react well to vitamin E because it's a very thick, occlusive type of vitamin, and it's meant to be designed to like help nourish and rehydrate your skin. I have very oily skin to begin with, so it's a huge no-no for me. When I spoke to my my facialist at the beauty clinic, she said to stop using the CE Ferulic and switch back to my Phloretin CF because this is going to be way better for my skin. This is actually formulated for pigmentation and to help like brighten up acne scars. And if you have acne, chances are usually your skin's pretty oily. So if you have oily skin, stay away from the CE Ferulic and switch to the Phloretin CF. They also have a brand new one called Silymarin something. I forget what it's called. And it's a brand new vitamin C formula, and actually that one's even supposed to help like give more bounce to your skin. So if you have slightly more like mature skin, it's better for that. I haven't tried that one yet. It's gonna be on my list next just to test out. It seems like that one's also really good for acneic skin too. So right up my alley. I'm very happy. I apply about 4 drops of this onto my palm and gently pat it into my skin everywhere. So now that I have applied the vitamin C to my skin, I follow up next with the Estée Lauder Advanced Night Repair. This, although it has the word night in it, is actually fine for you to use during the day and night. I've been using this serum for the past 5 years and I cannot turn back. This stuff makes my skin feel so freaking smooth and soft. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I know some people say that there are silicones in this, but it does wonders for my skin. It doesn't clog my pores, so I swear by this. I apply about like 2 to 3 drops into my hands and just pat it in, and this really helps me to maintain any extra moisture that I had in my skin and to really rehydrate it. After that, the next step in serums are my hyaluronic acids. I'm currently using the Vichy Liftactiv V Supreme HA serum. So hyaluronic acid serums are really good at retaining water in your skin. I believe they hold up to like 10 times the weight of water or something like that. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But I apply this after I apply my other serums to really allow it to bind with those ones, so that when it melts into my skin, it really brings all the properties of all the beneficial serums in underneath my skin. It's important to also apply other moisturizing creams and lotions on top of this too, because if hyaluronic acid sits at the top of your skin and it evaporates, it's going to bind to those other serums and evaporate with that stuff. So this is great for retaining moisture in your skin, but you want to make sure that you're using this properly. It's actually best applied to damp skin because it will bind to the water molecules that are already on your skin, and like I said, allow it to penetrate deeper, and then lock it in with something else hydrating as well. I take about 4 drops of this in my palms, and once again, just like lightly dab it around everywhere. Cannot forget about your eyes, so I always use an eye cream. This one is the Dr. Belmeur Advanced Eye Cream. I currently have it in this like squeezy tube because, as you can see, I finished this much and I only have this much left, and I want to make sure I get every last drop of it before I throw it out. I also lost like the little cap. It fell down behind the toilet tank somewhere, so it's currently sitting like this on my counter. Kind of annoying, but I take like a really small portion onto my ring fingers and dab it underneath my eyes, making sure that I also rub this into the crow's feet corner here, and then go all around the eye contour as well. Eye creams are really good for all over your eyes. It's not just on the bottom. If you don't want the top of your eyelids sagging as you get older, make sure you're also taking care of that area, because as you get older and you age, gravity takes over and it starts to like pull down your eyelids. Like, honestly, look at some of your grandparents and other people who are a little bit older. You'll see the skin around the eye sags a little bit. So you also want to take care of the top and the bottom, not just the bottom, guys. And then once I finish applying my eye cream, I move next to the all over facial hydration, and this is going to help really lock in the hyaluronic acid. I've recently been using the Farmacy Daily Greens Oil-Free Gel Moisturizer. This one is great for the spring, summertime because it's a little bit more lightweight. In the winter and fall, I typically gravitate to a more like thicker cream formula because my skin gets really dry in the winter, especially when we turn on the heater. This one's great though. It smells freaking amazing. It has Moringa and Papaya in it. It is green, but once you rub it into your skin, the color completely fades and you don't see it anymore. And it's really quick to absorb. It doesn't leave your skin feeling like oily or have any sort of like weird sticky residue. It just like evaporates into your skin and locks in all the hyaluronic acid. So this is a great one. I really love it. And I believe Farmacy is supposed to be, I think, like a fully vegan and cruelty-free brand as well. Easily available at Sephora. And if I do have some active breakouts, this is when I kind of layer over the end with a little bit of like acne controlling products. Recently, I've been using the Dermalogica Breakout Control like little gel here. I'm almost finished this actually, so there's no more left. I just spot treat and dab it on any areas where I have like open breakouts to really give it the extra like oomph and like a kick in the butt to get rid of them. And then to lock everything in, I apply a face oil as well. And this is a great occlusive because it's going to keep everything on your skin and it doesn't allow it to evaporate and disappear into the air. I've recently been using the Biossance Squalane and Vitamin C Rose Oil. I've actually gone through a couple of bottles of this stuff already. I love the way it smells. It's super easy to apply. It has like a really nice, beautiful slip. If you do like to do facial massages or use like a gua sha, this is a great oil to apply. Squalane is nice and slippery. Not only is it going to help your skin to retain all the products you've already applied to it, but it's going to help plump and moisturize it too. And come on, it also has vitamin C and rose oil, so you're going to smell like a beautiful little flower. So like I said, I've gone through a couple of these. I would consistently go back to this oil over and over again. It doesn't feel like weirdly oily on your skin, so I'm very happy with this one. And then the very final product, I actually had to go get up to get this because I forgot to bring this out here with me, is an SPF. I used to be vehemently against them just because I hated the smell and the texture and how they felt, but it's been constantly drilled into my head that the sun does the most damage to your skin, and it's like a lot of irreparable damage. So it's really important to take care of your skin as early as possible. I love spending time in the sun. Like, come on, warmth, vitamin D, happiness. Like, I can't just avoid the sun for my skin, so I need to take care of it. So one of my favorite SPFs is actually the AlumierMD Moisture Matte one. I skip between this one and a couple of other ones, but the current one that I'm using is from AlumierMD. I currently took this from like a little travel pack of minis, which is why it looks so freaking small. I don't usually use a tube this small. It's usually like 10 times the size of this, like this big, but I just want to share with you what I'm currently using. They have a bunch of different formulas with like tints. You can get like just like a regular tint, no tint, different shades of tinting. So this is really good for anybody who wants like some coverage on their skin. Kind of acts like a CC cream, but it is SPF, which is great. And then on days where I don't want to apply makeup, I've actually gotten so many compliments from people telling me that like, Vic, your skin looks so freaking good right now. Honestly, it's not that good. It's just the AlumierMD underneath with the skin tint, and it just makes my overall skin tone look really even and balanced. So love, love, love this stuff. This is a broad spectrum sunscreen with SPF 40, and even if my makeup products already have SPF, and I always apply this as a very final step in my skincare regime so that my skin is fully prepped, primed, ready to go for makeup, and also protected from the sun. Okay, so we've touched on everything for daytime routine. Let's chat a little bit about the nighttime routine. A lot of the products are going to be similar, but I do swap out them for some different ones as well. And my nighttime routine kind of like flip-flops back and forth depending on how I feel. So first off, if I am wearing makeup, I usually take it off with a general oil cleanser. I'm currently using the Dermalogica oil cleanser, but if I don't wear makeup, then I don't need to take it off with that. So that's just kind of like a side one in the sense of like, that's what I meant. My nighttime routine is not always the same. And then afterwards, I go in with the current cleanser that I use during the daytime, just the NEOSTRATA Enlighten one, same one that I'm using right now. And then when I finish that, same thing again, the Dermalogica toner, spray it on, let it dry. And then once I'm done with that, I go in with the Jowaé facial mist, spray that all on, and let it dry as well. Here's where the things change up a little bit. So I really like to use retinols at nighttime just because I find that it really helps to retexturize my skin while I'm sleeping. You're not supposed to really be using retinols during the daytime because it does make your skin photosensitive, and I'm not trying to further damage my skin. So depending on the night, I rotate back and forth between a couple of different products. I've recently been using the Bare Minerals Ageless 10% phytoretinol night concentrate, and you don't necessarily need to use this every single night because you do need to build up a tolerance when it comes to retinols. It's taken me a little bit over like a year and a half to 2 years, but I think my skin can tolerate up to like a 0.5% now. This is like a 10% phytoretinol though, so this uses actually like a natural derivative, and it's not going to be as strong as a regular retinoid, so you can use a higher percentage of this one. So every second night I use this one, and then in between I actually also use the Farmacy Honeymoon Glow. This is an AHA resurfacing night serum with hydrating honey and gentle flower acids. I try not to mix the two of them together on my skin just because it can get quite aggressive. I really like this Honeymoon Glow one. Fair note, it does sting a little bit when you apply it to your skin. I don't know why it does that, but everybody tells me that it stings when they apply it to theirs, and the reps from Farmacy have also told me the same thing too. So just want to give you a heads up notice. If you have sensitive areas, it does sting a little bit. You start off by using this like once or twice a week, and then you can build it up to end up using it like every second day or like 3 to 4 times a week if you like. But I generally alternate between the two, this one night and then this as a second night as a step after the facial mist. So these two are the same step, I just alternate between the two of them. And then after that, I apply the Estée Lauder Advanced Night Repair just to restore any sort of moisture to my skin. Since I am using very harsh active ingredients, I don't want my skin to dry out or to get too sensitive. To bind and lock everything in, I use the Hyaluronic Acid Serum, again, just to give my skin some more added bounce and moisture. While you're doing all that repairing to your skin with like vitamin C's and retinols and AHAs, it can get really aggressive to your skin, so it's really important to also use other skincare products that helps to hydrate and moisturize your skin at the same time. And then once that is done, I go back in with the same eye cream, the Dr. Belmeur one. I don't have a different one between night and day. I just use the same one. It's more the overall skin hydration and serums and moisturizers where I use specific active ingredients between night and day. Afterwards, I apply my night cream. The current one that I'm using at the moment is the Estée Lauder Revitalizing Supreme Plus Night Cream. This is an intensive restorative cream, very thick in formula. It definitely has like an oily residue, but I'm going to sleep at night, so I couldn't really care less. I don't know what my skin feels like when I'm asleep, so I actually take this time to use as hydrating and as moisturizing properties as I can when it comes to my skincare. Typically oilier ones kind of like benefit my skin. I know this one's not going to break me out though, even though it is a little bit heavier, because I've been using it for the past like 3 months and it has been so great. I wake up and my skin just feels like nice and plump and lush, like I'm a freshly reborn human, even though I am almost 30 years old this year. Love this stuff. It is a little bit pricey, but there's a lot of product in this packaging. It's been like 4.5 months and I still have quite a ways to go till I reach the very end. This stuff is great. I absolutely love it. We go back to it over and over and over again. I know Estée Lauder sometimes gets the rep of being kind of like the older lady brand, but they have phenomenal skincare products in their skincare range that you guys need to check out. All their stuff has been researched and like tested and tried on people for like decades. They know their stuff. It's like really freaking good. And then to top it all off, at the very end, I once again finish it off with a face oil. Same one as before, the Biossance Squalane Vitamin C Rose Oil. This will help to lock everything in, seal it, so that when I sleep at night, none of the stuff kind of like escapes and evaporates. It just like sinks into my skin. Ooh, and then I forgot to mention, after both of my routines, I also take care of my lips as well. I have severely dried and chapped lips, and there are barely skincare products or like lip products that really cut it. So the tried and true one that I always go back on, and you guys have definitely seen me mention this before, is the Bite Agave lip mask. I know this is a lip mask, but I use this as my regular everyday lip balm. This one has been like massacred. It looks like it's almost dead. I use this so freaking often. It is absolutely amazing. I've gone through countless tubes of these, like 10 plus already, and I will constantly go back to this one over and over and over again until somebody introduces me to like a newer, better one. This is definitely a GOAT product for me. Always in one of my bags and always on my vanities wherever I go, whether I'm at home or traveling somewhere. The only one varying product that I use on and off is a liquid resurfacing peel. This is the Dr. Dennis Gross one. I was actually introduced to this brand by my good friend Sifat, and she uses a lot of their peel products and she swears by them. This stuff is absolutely amazing. There's like a step 1 and then a step 2. I believe the step 1 is the peel. You apply it with like a cotton ball and you leave it on your skin for about 2 minutes, and then step 2 is a neutralizer to kind of like neutralize that whatever acids are in this. This has a lactic acid, glycolic, and bromelain. Typically this stuff is really strong and you get this done in like a medical spa setting, but this is safe enough for you to apply at home without like damaging your skin. You do need a neutralizer though to make sure that this does stop and it doesn't continue to burn your skin. But I love this stuff. I use this about like once a week to kind of give my skin like a nice little refresh. It's almost as if I could go in for an acid peel at the salon or the med spa without going there, and I can do this at home. It's been a savior for the past year since we've been stuck at home, and it's been really hard to go to spas to get facials done, so I really love this stuff. And this stuff combined together with the retinols and vitamin C really has changed the overall texture of my skin in the past couple of years and has made it like so freaking smooth and soft. Like I don't even have, knock on wood, because I probably screwed myself over by saying this, but like I barely have any like weird texture or like weird indentations from my previous acne scars anymore. And then the only other thing that like I use on and off, I didn't even think of like really sharing it in here because I don't use them frequently enough to warrant it being like a skincare routine, are face masks, like clay mask every once in a while to pull out some products from my skin, sheet masks in the wintertime if I feel like I need to rehydrate all of my skin, and then also like hydrocolloid patches if I have some acne spots that I'm trying to get rid of. I just put them on every once in a while, but all those products I use so infrequently that it doesn't really feel like it's part of my overall routine, which is just why I didn't mention it in any of my routines for daytime or nighttime. But I do use them and I did want to share that with you in case you were curious. So that is it and my current skincare routine. Let me know if you found that helpful, and if you would like to see more of these, I can definitely do like a re-updated one every few months or so to let you know and share what new products that I'm currently using. I don't remember if I shared this info at the beginning of the video, but I do have like combination skin, and some areas are very oily and some areas are very dry. I do have very acneic skin as well. I break out quite frequently when I'm in my hormonal cycle. I have adult acne. What else do I have? I have eczema, but not on my face. It's more on my fingers. And I think that's about it. My biggest issues right now are combating pigmentation, dull skin, and also like loss of collagen. Since my skin is getting more mature, I'm trying to give it some more bounce, which is why I've been using a lot more actives in my skincare over the course of the past few years. But yeah, I hope that answered any questions that you may have about my skincare, and hopefully that was what you guys were expecting if you were the person that did ask for my current skincare routine. Let me know if I should come back and share more of them every few months so that you can see what I'm currently using and loving. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more of me, you know where to find me on Instagram and TikTok. I post on there quite frequently. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here for another video. I post every Thursday and Sunday on YouTube at 7 p.m. EST. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!